All right. So good morning, everyone. Great to be back after 2 weeks off of yoga and on a bike. We're going to play with, we're going to do a lot of hamstring stretching today because we're going to play with several variations of triangle pose. So you definitely want a couple of blocks and either a towel or a blanket would be great. And if you have your strap, you might want it. So have your strap with you as well. And then sit well. So, right, what does that mean? We know, right? Nice alignment through your spine. Tailbone goes down, chest moves up, a little bit of tone to the belly just to help support the whole back body. And then a nice level chin. Your hands are comfortable. They can be in your lap. They can be near your knees. Your knees don't have to be bent. And then just close the eyes. And start to tap into where you are on your mat. Feeling your breath as you move in and move out. And maybe feeling the temperature in the room that you are in or the environment that you're in. Knowing that as we breathe in through our noses, if that's possible for you, we warm the air so that as it goes into the lungs, it's warmer. It also filters the air, one of the reasons to breathe in through your nose. And then as we exhale, we let it all go. Maybe get a sense of where your shoulders are in space. Are they rolled forward? And can you draw them back to the side body? Maybe even feel the back body between the shoulder blades. Maybe feel them engage just a little bit. Good. Taking a deep breath in. And exhaling and letting it go again. Good. One more right here. And exhaling. And then if it's all right for your neck, go ahead and let the chin drop down toward your chest. Always honor your process. You know that if you have some neck issues and you don't want to take it into kind of a deep flexion here, don't worry about it. Just take it maybe a little bit forward or leave it more neutral. But if your chin is down at your chest, feel the back body and maybe feel the stretch along the upper spine. And just notice as the head gets heavy, the stretch gets a little bit deeper. And then take your left ear to your left shoulder. Take your right fingertips to the floor if they'll reach. Just gentle, gentle here. Don't do a big hard pull. And then maybe look down at your left shoulder. So you're stretching through that whole side of the neck. Just feeling that. And then bring the ear back to shoulder. And then maybe look up a little bit. Again, be gentle. And then neutral. Good. One more time, down to the left shoulder. Back to a neutral. Maybe glance up at the ceiling. And take the head back to normal. Good. Let that hand come back on your knee. Go over to the right side. And just stretch. So it was interesting, that when we're under stress, we tend to tighten through the jaw. As we tighten through the jaw, it starts to affect the long attached muscle through the front of the neck. And it just kind of cascades right through the body as we tighten up one area, more of the body starts to tighten up. And so we're just relaxing our jaw, relaxing our face. We're not putting ourselves into a state where we have to tense up. We're just letting it stretch. Sorry, fingertips to the floor if you haven't already. And then look down at the right shoulder. Look neutral. Maybe look up, just a little rotation. Back to neutral. Back down toward that right shoulder. Good, neutral again. And up toward the ceiling. And bring your head back up. Whew, good. Shake out the shoulders. Goodness gracious. And then just take your left arm and bring it up to the ceiling. Just straight up. Maybe seat the shoulder blade down a little bit. Your right hand goes out to the side. I want you to do your best to kind of keep your head and your arm lined up. In other words, if my arm is straight, my head is straight, I'm not dropping my ear down to my shoulder. And just slide your right hand out to the side, keeping the head, neck soft as you stretch over to that side. Now, you might not be down this low. You might be more of a straight arm, but try not to jam up the right shoulder. Try to keep the right shoulder soft, the head neutral, right? So your chin is in line with your chest bone, your sternum. Good. And now plant your left hip, like really drop that down to the floor. Good. Push off your right hand, reach up, take the right arm up. Let the left hand come down, your head, neck neutral with the arm. Slide it out. Find your spot and stretch. Plant the right hip. Relax your head, your neck, your jaw, and just kind of notice, right? As we start to play here a little bit, we don't have to keep the head, neck in so much tension. And that's important in a lot of the poses we're going to do, especially triangle pose. Good. Push off your left hand, take that arm up. Let the right hand come back to the floor. And I want you to glance up at your left hand. Again, be mindful of your head, neck, and then look down at your right shoulder. Good. Look up and down. One more. Look up and down. And then one more. Slide across the floor. You can go as far as you would like. Just don't drop that head down toward the shoulder. Just breathe. Press down through the left hip. A little bit of tone to the belly. Really stretching out that side body. Push off that hand. Take the right arm up. Let the left hand come down. That right hand is just reaching up toward the ceiling. And then look up at that hand. And look down at the shoulder. Good. And two more. Look up and down. One more. Look up and down. And then slide yourself across. Oh, stretch. Press down through the right hip. Find that open side body. Really important for our triangle pose later on. Push off that hand. Reach both arms up. I want you to grab that imaginary rope and squeeze it down. Engage the shoulder blades. Good. Reach up. Exhale, squeeze down. One more. Reach up. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Hold that. Let go of the fist, right? Or the crunch of the hands. Open the palms. And then imagine you want to put the backs of your hands to a wall, but keep the elbows tucked in, right? So big chest opener here. Big engagement for the back body. Also important for triangle. Why is that? Because we tend to roll forward the upper shoulder in triangle. We'll address that in a minute. Whew, good. All right. Shake it, shake it, shake it. Grab your strap. You may or may not use it, but it might be nice to have. And grab either your blanket or your towel. Whichever one you have, it's fine. Just a soft roll of it, not too big, not too thick. And place that in front of you. And then extend out through your right leg and let the towel or the blanket be under your right knee. And we'll explain this one in a minute. So we're in Janusirsasana, right? Your other leg is bent. That doesn't work for your knees. You know what your options are, I think. You can straighten it, you can bend it, you can take it bent knee, but out wide, maybe a block under the knee. Always take care of those babies. All right. And then sit up really tall. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, start to swan dive forward, But before you go too far, I want you to pull the right leg back into its hip socket isometrically. And then just let your hands come to the floor. If you would prefer your strap around your foot, you can do that. But what I want you to avoid is this rounding to hold your foot. I want you to stay really wide in the shoulders and then press the knee. Again, be mindful, but press the back of the knee into your blanket or your pillow or your towel. And then feel the chest move toward the leg. I want you to just pause here, breathe. So if we're looking at triangle pose and some of the variations of triangle pose later, you really need to have some opening in the hamstrings. So as we start to warm up our bodies, we're thinking about how this leg is going to be extended out in front of us. The hamstrings are going to open up here a little bit. Good, deep breath. Resist the desire to round down toward that leg or down toward the foot. And then slide your hands back up. Same leg. Want you to take it out at a diagonal, maybe, I don't know, 45-ish. I've never been good with angles. I know you can't hardly see my foot. I have a warm sock on. So same thing, but the knee is fully supported. If you look at your leg, it's pointing straight up. Stay to the middle. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, partial swan dive. Press back through both hips. Really ground that femur, that thigh bone, and then take your hands to the floor. Open up the shoulders again. Keep the chest neutral. Keep the head neutral, right? Another thing. So what do we do when we want to reach a goal, right? So sometimes we will take that head forward instead of keeping the spine aligned. So just notice if you tend to do that. Keep the shoulders wide, keep the head in alignment, and focus on what's happening in your right leg. Some of you I know can go a lot lower. Be mindful of the low back here. We start to round if we're not ready. But a lot of us are going to be fairly upright. Good, deep breath. Try not to reach the head forward of the shoulders. And slide up again. Good, last one here. You're going to take that same leg and you're going to see if you can bring it as much out to the side as your body will allow. So doesn't have to be all the way. So I'm pretty wide here. And hang on, I'm just getting a little hip cramp there. So I'm out pretty wide. I would not do this with both legs. I wouldn't be able to go that wide. I'm still cushioning underneath the knee, pressing the knee into the blanket. Lift up really tall. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, swan dive. Notice the changes in the inner groin, right? We're starting to go really wide here. Fingers to the floor. Shoulders stay wide. And I'm just going to check this out. How is this feeling in your body? How's this feeling in your knee? If you have knee pain, the blanket would go higher. So you could take your blanket or your pillow, your towel, and bundle it up a little bit higher and then press down. So we're not looking at hyperextension of the knee. We're looking at the engagement of the quads and working through that joint just a little bit. Good, breathe, kind of sit in it, right? So I don't know if you can see, I'm kind of wiggling my sit bones because I want to sit in the pose. I want to feel what's happening. Good, breathe, breathe, breathe. And come on up. Slide that right leg back to neutral. Move the blanket out of the way. Straighten the left leg if that's been bent this whole time. Whew. And roll it out. Just roll your ankles, shake out your legs, maybe slide both knees up and back down again. And then let's go to the other side. So once again, the left leg for you all is straight forward. You can use a strap if you like. The blanket or towel is underneath your knee. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, swan dive. Let the fingertips come to the floor. Roll the shoulders back. Bring the head back into alignment. You might notice one side tighter than the other. This is my tight side. So it's going to take a little bit more patience to open that up. I'm going to snuggle down into the sit bones, draw the leg back into the hip socket. Find our breath. Just breathe. You know, I find yoga such a good life lesson all the way around of being patient, of waiting for your opening, of letting go of old ideas, all of that stuff that we carry in our lives that we figure out we can let go of. Good. Slide yourself up. Roll the shoulders back. Take the leg out at a diagonal. And it's going to be different for everybody. So your diagonal might not look like mine. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, swan dive, just to open up that chest. Let the fingertips come to the floor in front of you. Maybe isometrically draw the fingertips back, press the back of the knee into the blanket if that feels okay. Snuggle in, everybody. Feel both sit bones trying to draw to the earth evenly, right? That nice even weight. That's it. And can you tap into, so it's a lot of times in yoga, right? We can start to drift off to other things going on in our lives later or before. So one way to work with that is to focus on the sensation that you're feeling, right? Where is it for you? Is it near the knee? Is it near the groin? Is it inside? Is it outside? What is it for you? What are you feeling here? Is it the spine starting to round like mine just was, right? Is the head reaching forward like a turtle? Can we draw it back up? Good. Slide it up. Roll the shoulders back. One more here. Take it as wide as your legs will allow. One side only. Drop that right or that left hip down to the floor. Pause. Inhale. Exhale, bring it forward. Roll the shoulders back. Think about it. Right? No pain here. So if you've gone too wide and it feels yucky, you know that feeling, that yucky feeling. Come on out a little bit until there's no more yucky. Right? And I know for some of my knee folks, this is a little bit more challenging because you don't know what the heck to do with the other leg, right? So it can be straight, it can be in forward and in front of you. I should have cued that a little bit earlier. Good. One more big deep breath here. Slide it up. Oh, good. Bring that left leg forward. Release that blanket or towel, straighten both legs. Bring both legs together so that they're touching. Fire those babies up, hands down to your sides, just some Dandasana, staff pose, just to kind of realign everything. Good. If your spine stays neutral, take the arms up, find your breath. Big, big, big deep breath, everybody. Good. Exhale, let it go. Bend both knees, just take both feet out to this, or both knees out to the side. An easy, easy Badakanasana, soles of the feet together. You can hold on to knees, shins, or ankles. Lift the spine really tall. And release it. Bring those knees back together. Well done, everyone. So we're going to come to hands and knees. If you want a blanket underneath your knees, go ahead and take care of that. Bring the blanket under and just have both blocks up to the front of your mat. I'm going to take my socks off so I don't do the slip and slide on my yoga mat. Anybody remember that? Slip and slide as a kid? That was the best. All right, so get those out of the way and come to table pose. And let's get these spines warmed up. So spread the fingers. If your wrists are bothering you this morning, you can come on down to your elbows. In fact, let's all come to elbows. We don't do this version of it very often. Softly interlace your hands. Your elbows are shoulders width apart. And then as you exhale, curl the spine up and drop your head down toward the floor and really reach up into a nice cat pose. And as you inhale, curl the tailbone. Start to lift the head, chest. You won't go as high. Good. 2 more. Just exhale, curl. Inhale, lift. Last one. And inhale, lift. Good. Take it to a nice neutral spine. Press your right leg back. Your left knee is under your left hip. Lift the right leg. Don't go too high because you'll just sink your lower back. And feel your toes pointing down toward the floor. That inner thigh moves up toward the ceiling. So it's that little bit of rotation there. Separate the hands and press your palms into the floor. Big deep breath. That's it. Good. Take that same right leg, turn the toes out, and then slide the leg all the way across so it's out from your hip. Drop that to the floor. Walk your hands up. Inhale up, gate pose. Exhale down to the floor. Walk your hands back out. Drop to your elbows. Lift that leg and bring it back. Good. I'm going to turn around because I got no room on that side. We're going to do the other side. So we're starting here in table pose. Your hands can be interlaced. You're on your elbows. And exhale, curl. Inhale, lift. Nice cat pose. Exhale, curl it. Inhale, lift. One more. Exhale. Inhale, lift. And then neutral spine, separate your hands, press your left leg back. Lift the leg, hold here, squeeze the belly, level out the hips, and just feel the energy of that leg. And then turn the toes out to the side, let that leg slide across, drop it down so that it's level with the hips. Press up into your hands, walk your hands back. And then inhale, reach up. Exhale back down to the floor. Walk it back out. Drop to your elbows. If you can, lift the leg and then bring it back. And breathe. Good. I'm going to turn around again. I feel like I'm doing a little break dance on my mat. We're going to come back to that other side, doing the same thing, but take it into a more true gate pose. So you're on your elbows, tone in through your belly, press the right leg back, lift the right leg, squeeze the belly a little bit, right? Good form here, everybody. Don't want to lift that leg so high that you sink into your low back. Turn the toes out, slide it out and across, drop it down. Just press into your hands. Walk your hands back. Once you feel stable, lift up hands to hips. So that leg is pressing out straight out. For me, my foot is mostly parallel. I know it's kind of off camera here, but it's parallel with the long side of my mat. Inhale, reach up. As you exhale, take your right hand down your leg and stretch the left arm up and over. Remember what we talked about with the head, right? Don't drop the head down to the shoulder. Keep the head and the arm moving in the same direction. Nice tone to the belly. Watch the pressure of that hand on your leg. Make sure you're not pushing down into the knee. Oh, stretch, everybody. Breathe, breathe, breathe. That's it. Keep some good energy in that leg. If your hand is too heavy on your down by your knee, you just take the hand up or go lower if you've got that range of motion. All right, take the arms up. Woo. Bring the hips back, hands come to the floor, walk them out. Drop down to your elbows, lift up and bring it back. Beautiful. Other side, everybody. You're down on elbows, tone the belly, press your left leg back. Lift it up, hold, engage the legs, engage the glutes. Turn the toes out, bring it out to the side. Lower that foot down and then just push up into your hands. Walk those hands back. Find your stability. Belly tones, your right knee, right hip pretty lined up. Your left leg straight out from the hip. Inhale, reach up. As you exhale, left hand slides down ever so lightly, and we're stretching that big old side body. Whew, right? And you can tell if you're tight here, you can tell that we just don't stretch side body nearly enough. That's it. Smile. Don't let the head drop down to the shoulder. Keep it lined up. And inhale, reach both arms. Exhale, hips go back so that the hands come down. Walk the hands out, drop to your elbows, lift, take it back, and release it. And then from this elbow, press into your hands, walk the hands back to your shoulders, flip your toes under, and let's find downward facing dog. Hallelujah, right? And breathe, pedal out the feet, stretch it all out. You can even take your feet a little wider here. Maybe shake out through the hips. Breathe. How's that feel, right? How's that feeling in your body? And then come to your tippy toes, lower down to your knees again. Whew. I'm going to flip back around because that's where my blocks are. You're going to want your blocks for this one. So you're back to table pose and step forward with your right foot and bring your blocks into play and take your hands to your blocks. Pause here. So as you can imagine, my lovely friends out there, right? Being on a bike for 260 miles, my hips, legs, groin, everything just got a bit tight. And I don't know if I could have done enough stretching to keep all that loose. And I was too darn tired to do too much of it. So we feel that stretch of the front left psoas quad, right? Quadricep muscle, thigh muscle. Take your hands to your knee, push off your knee. Feel that nice stretch. Take one arm up. Unfurl your toes in the front if they're gripping. Take the other arm up. Find that nice low lunge stretch. Remember your knees are there if you, blankets under your knee if you need it. Good, breathe everybody. And then take your hands back to your blocks. Shimmy your front foot forward just a little and then straighten your front leg. I like to take my toes up, but don't hyperextend behind the knee. In other words, you're not letting it pop far back so there's a lot of pressure back at the back of the knee. And just feel that little stretch. Yep, you can sit back with it. You can feel that. Big deep breath. And then bend your front knee. Simply slide your right leg back, slide your left leg forward. So we're back in that low lunge. Hands are still on your blocks. I've got my blocks up at the highest level. Shoulders are wide, head is in alignment, all that sounding familiar, I'm sure. And then take your hands to your knee, maybe tuck back a little bit, just a little more stretch here. One hand goes up, other hand goes up. You're not scrunching the shoulders, little bit of tone to the belly, just enjoying this stretch for the body. And then let your hands come back to your blocks, maybe shimmy your front foot forward a little bit and straighten that leg to your level. Again, I like to flex my foot, just gives me a little better stretch. Breathe, everybody, just go easy. Keep the torso long, right? It's easy again to kind of curl down into your knee, but keep it long for now. Let's warm these hammies up really well. Good. Bend your front knee, maybe slide that leg back. Bring your left leg back. Bring your right foot forward. You're back in lunge. If you can, flip your toes under and lift your left knee off the floor. Your hands are still on your blocks. Just be more mindful. Again, that high level on the blocks can be tippy. You can take it down to second level if you would like. That's going to help stabilize the blocks a little bit. The hips are even. The back leg is strong, strong, strong. Good. As you inhale, I want you to straighten your front leg. Straighten is relative, right? Might be mostly bent. Here's your hammies. Now, take a look at your front foot. What's it doing? Did it roll out? Did it roll in? Can you keep it long? Imagine the center of your big toe and that center line going all the way up to the inside groin. Keep that line long. Good. As you exhale, I want you to bend your front knee. Inhale, straighten. Don't have to go all the way straight, no force. Exhale, bend. Good. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend it. One more. Here we go. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Lower that right knee to the floor. Slide your right knee back. Bring your left leg forward. Hands are still on your blocks. If you can, you're lifting your right knee. You know you can do this with knee down. Look at your front foot. Nice long inner line from big toe to inner heel to inner line all the way up to the groin. Roll that right or that left hip back. Inhale first. Exhale, straighten. And inhale. Exhale. 3 more. Inhale. Exhale, straightening. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. Last one. Inhale. Exhale, straighten. Good. Listen up, everybody. I want you to bend your front knee. Turn your back foot to the side, release or walk your blocks to the center. Keep turning the feet so they're pointing straight ahead. Now you're in a wide leg forward fold. From here, I'm just going to get toward the back of my mat. I want you to walk those hands with your blocks out as far forward as is comfortable with your heels completely grounded. And then drop the chest so that the ears are between the arms. And breathe. Oh, yeah. Good. Walk those blocks back under your shoulders. Turn the toes out. Bend the knees a little bit, hands to knees. And come on up. Woo! Roll out the shoulders, everybody. And then heel toe your feet in. Your blocks can stay where they are for now. Inhale, reach the arms up. Keep your left arm up. Take the right arm behind you. And just come into a little cow face arm. So you don't have to touch. They can be down. They can be separated. Your right arm can be down low and just across your back. Again, everybody's different. Every body is different, right? Good, breathe. Now your right elbow is down, your left elbow is up. And I just want you to lean over to the right and stretch it out. Don't let the head drop. Keep the head close to the arm. Stretch outside body. Woo, yeah. And come back to center. Release the arms. Inhale up. Good. This time, let's get it. Let me get it straight. Take the, leave the right arm up. Take the left arm behind. Good. And reach. They don't have to touch, right? Tone through the belly. And then that elbow that is down, reach over to that side. Keep the head lined up. Oh, yeah. Stretch it out. Fire up the legs, everyone. That'll help with balance. And take it center. Release. Inhale. Take it up. Exhale. Forward fold. Hands go to your blocks. Your blocks are under your shoulders. And I want you to just step it out wide again. And breathe. Walk the hands forward on your blocks, but not quite as far as you have before. Take your right hand block closer to center, but your arm is forward of your shoulder. And take the left arm up. Keep the hips back. So if I were to do a measurement, my hips and my ankles would be lined up. Release that arm. Place your left hand on your block closer to center. Take the right arm up. Little twist here. Breathe. Release. Good. We're going to turn ourselves back toward the right. So walk the blocks closer. Start to walk them. Just walk your blocks. Start to turn your feet. Both feet. Make sure your feet go wide enough, hips width apart. So now you're in that lunge. I want you to hop your back foot forward a little bit. Straighten both hips, pyramid pose. And breathe. If this is too low for you, just walk the blocks up higher, right? I like the blocks higher. It just takes some of the pressure off the upper body so that the lower body can do what it's trying to do. So pause here, just breathe. Remember about the head, right? Don't pull the head forward. So instead of taking the torso down to the leg, I want you to walk the blocks forward, right? What are we doing here, everybody? Hamstrings, front leg, hamstrings, right? So we're starting to stretch the torso over the leg. Just be mindful, right? Your front foot is lining up beautifully. So your big toe, your inner ankle, your inner groin, the hips are level, the shoulders are soft. And we are saying a huge good morning to the hammies. Bend your front knee. If you can, it's a soft step forward with your right leg and a soft step back with your left. Pyramid pose is not a long leg pose. So here we are again, walk the blocks back. You can go higher, level out the hips, check your front foot, your front ankle, right? See if you can level all of that stuff out. The torso gets long, press into the back foot. I didn't say that on the other side. And then walk the blocks forward so that the torso extends out instead of rounding down. Good, breathe. So a lot of people, especially my tight hamstring folks out there, the knee's going to be more bent. That's okay. And in fact, if you have really open hamstrings, see how it feels to bend the knee a little bit, because that locks that hamstring in, and then you stretch out into the sit bones. It's a very interesting sensation. All right, walk the blocks in. Bend your front knee. Take your blocks wide. Soft step forward. You're in a forward fold. Hands move forward. Shoulders, blocks are under shoulders, and come into a forward fold. Soft, soft, everybody. Big, deep breath. Good. Press your hands into the blocks. Come halfway up. Bend your knees a lot. Hands to knees, and come all the way up to standing. Yeah, we are warmed up now. No kidding, right? Grab one block, place it between your thighs. If you can go the long way, go the long way. All I want you to do is find a mountain pose with a big squeeze on the block. Woo, yeah. Getting the hips lined up, the knees lined up, the feet lined up. Don't hyperextend the knees. I got my girls out there, especially the girls that tend to pop out the backs of the knees. Let's not do that. And just squeeze. And feel it. Feel the feet, feel the legs, feel the thighs, right? Belly, hips, all of it happening. And it's interesting when we engage the legs, you might find that the upper body just lines up. Inhale, take the arms up. Pull the imaginary rope down. Remember how we did that earlier? Pull it, pull it, pull it, pull it. Let go of the fists. Pull the hands back. Whoo. Yep. So now upper body's engaged. Legs are engaged. We're having a good time. And release it and shake it out. Good. All right. So both blocks to the front of your mat, both up on the highest level. I want you to take, in fact, yeah, I'm okay still. Take your left foot forward and your right foot back. The distances for triangle pose, if you read the yoga literature, they'll say 3.5 to 4 feet. They'll say this, they'll say that. Truly, if you take your legs wide and take the arms out, if you feel comfortable in your stance, that is plenty wide enough. Your back foot is parallel with the short edge of your mat. Your front foot is straight ahead. If I look at the line, if I had a line drawn on my yoga mat, my front heel is either going to line up with my back arch or my back heel. The back heel is a little bit more stable. So that's where we start. Triangle pose. It's in the hips to a point. So just want you to take your hands to your hips and shake them out a little bit. Just shake them side to side. Now, for me, in my brain, based on what I know, the challenge in triangle pose is to not dump all your weight into the hip joint. You move here, right? Used to teach it that we would like really drop in. Don't teach it like that so much. So I don't want you to dump all your weight here in this crease. I want you to keep it strong. However, we are going to move the torso to the side. So keep your back hand on your hip, take your front hand and reach it forward. Don't dump, just reach the torso forward as if you were reaching for something that's just out of reach, right? You'll feel the movement of the hip in, but it's different than a dump and it's hard to explain, but you'll feel that. So reach it forward. Keep your head, relatively speaking, in alignment over your sternum. Now, wherever your hand is here, I want you to drop it to your knee and open both shoulders. I want you to think about this top hand. Don't go any lower yet. You can see that soft bend in my knee. Take your top arm up, grab the imaginary rope, pull it back, pull it back, pull it back. Undo your fist, press the hand back to the imaginary wall. What did we just do? We pulled this whole shoulder complex back. And now extend the arm up. Good. So press into both feet. Where you are is where you are. If you feel stable here, you're not dumping into your front hip line, both legs are working, stay here. If you feel like you can go further, you can slide the hand down your leg, or you take the block that's at the outer ankle, press your hand into the block and find triangle pose. Check your head. I'm still lining it up with my sternum. Now I'm going to take the arm overhead, whoo, so that my ear and my arm pretty much line up. Now, a lot of times in triangle pose, they'll say, look up. You can do that if you keep your head in alignment, no strain. Yeah, right? Take the arm back up. Take it back to your hip. Open up the shoulder, hand to leg, slide up. Woo, good. Turn all your toes forward. And heel toe in. Just heel toe in. And breathe. All right, so we're going to go right to the other side. Hopefully that first side made sense. It's always slower on the first side because we gotta explain things. So your right foot's forward, your left foot's back. Find your alignment. Front knee is relatively straight, but not hyperextended. If you tend to hyperextend, I would purposefully keep a soft bend in the knee or lift all your toes to try to fire that quadricep, that thigh muscle up more. The other option is a block underneath your calf. Again, I could have said this on the other side, just to keep it from popping all the way back. All right, so here we are again. Hips are relatively to the side, back foot parallel, front foot straight, press into the ball mound. Take your hands to your hips. Front hand moves forward. Remember that dump thing. Okay, so I'm reaching forward, but my hips feel really steady. And then take your hand down to your leg wherever it'll go. Never pressing straight back onto the knee. Take that top arm up, grab the rope, pull it down, roll the shoulder back, press the hand to the back wall. Feel that opening, keep that opening. Take the arm up, slide the leg down, or take it to your block. and breathe. How's that feel in your body? Little bit of tone to the belly, the hips feel stable, push into your back leg. Maybe the top arm goes over your ear, the palm is face down. Maybe you look up past your armpit a little bit. Good, breathe. Take the arm up, take your hand back to your leg. If it left it, slide it up. Turn all your toes. Whew. Level out your hips and slide the feet back in. Good, just roll out your shoulders. So triangle pose, right? We need this. We need the hamstrings open. We need the side body open. We need the head in alignment. And we need control so that the legs stay sturdy the whole time. You could do triangle pose way shorter, right? You could go here and breathe. And it's just as beautiful a pose if you have steadiness and ease in your body. All right, so we're back to left leg forward. We're going to play with some variations. Left foot forward, right foot back. You got the alignment now. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, take both arms out to the side. Reach forward, but don't dump. Take the hand wherever it's going to land. Roll that right shoulder back. Take the left arm up. Big deep breath. Here we are again. Press into the ball mound. Good. You're going to slide up, slide up, slide up, slide up. Back hand goes to your thigh. Whew, both legs straight. A little bit more of a balance challenge here as we reach over. Big stretch. Good. Inhale. Exhale, slide down. This time, top arm goes forward. Back foot turns forward. Your hand comes to your block. Right hand to block. Your toes went from sideways to more forward. The back or the front hip line pulls back. From here, front leg straight, hand, left hand to hip. Open up the shoulder. Whoo. Press into both legs, scissor the inner thighs. Take the left arm up, reverse triangle or revolve triangle. Breathe. Oh yeah. And release. You're coming out the way you came in. Left hand goes to thigh, back foot straightens, right hand to hip. Open up your shoulder. Come on up. Woo. Good. And just heel toe in, right? So every time we heel toe in, we give those inner legs a little bit of a break, a little bit of a break. All right, so block is to the front, your right foot is forward. I hope you're following all this fun little triangle flow. So find your stance first. Trust your body. If you need to go narrower, go narrower. If you need to go wider, take your front foot, bring it out to the side a little bit more. All of those stabilize your base. All right, so here we are. Whew. Front leg relatively straight, arms come out. Take the torso forward, let the hand drop. Take the other arm up, pause. Notice if you're starting to move off your big toe mound, maybe the arm goes overhead, maybe your hand is to your block. Instead, maybe you're looking up, little tone to the belly here. Big deep breath. Slide your hand up, stable, stable, stable. Back hand goes down, front hand goes up. I always like to look down instead of up in these, but front leg is straight, which is different from our usual with a bent knee. Good, release. Here we go again. Slide up, slide down. This time, turn your torso. Sorry, block should have been on the inside. Turn your back foot so it's a little more forward. Front leg is still straight. Your left hand is on the block. Right hand is forward. Your right leg is forward. Right hand goes to your hip. Shoulders open. Arm comes up. Inner thigh scissor. Ooh, yeah. All the revolve poses are tricky. I find them tricky anyway. Good, release, hand comes to leg. Press up, hand to hip, right? Left hand to hip. Slide up. Whew. And release. Whoo, slip slide those legs back together and shake them out. I know, I know, I know. Good. All right. So last one here, we're going to play just a little shorter than your normal. Block to the front. In fact, let's take both blocks to the front just for stability. So revolve triangle. So back foot turns in, hips turn forward. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, take the hands forward. Reach them a little further forward than your normal. Good. When you're ready, you're going to bend your front knee. Let's see. Yes. Bend your front knee a little bit. See if you can peel off your back foot and lift. Breathe. 1, you're here. 2, you're just going to see if your body's going to allow a little bit of rotation, just a little, over toward that left leg or left side. Breathe. Hand back to block. Bend your front knee. Set it down. Walk the blocks in. Straighten your front leg. And come on up. Good. Switch. Right foot forward. Left foot back. Hips forward. Hinge at your hips. Draw that hip back. Hands to your blocks. Just think about it. Walk the hands forward. Small bend in the front knee so that you can lift the back. Oh, yeah. Woo-hoo. Breathe. 1, stay here. 2, hand, whoop, hand to hip. Open up the shoulder. This side's harder for me. Oh, yeah. And breathe. You can take the arm up, but you can see why I didn't go there on the other side. That's it. And release. Hand down. Just bring your left foot to meet your right. Holy moly. Find your breath. Good forward fold, everybody. Move your blocks out of the way. Plant those hands. Step back, downward facing dog. Pedal it out. Probably feels like a whole new different down dog. Lower your knees to the floor. Whew. And release. I want you to come down to your butt. Good. Take both legs wide. Wow, that's a good one. For me, maybe. I don't know. Hopefully it was for you. Good. So the legs are wide. And this is a place, honestly, if you have your blanket handy, take your blanket. Let's do it. Let's all do it. And make it into a square, right? So you just fold it in half and in half again. And then sit on the corner of that blanket so that when you sit on it, you've got that one corner coming through. And then flex your feet, watch your knees, and sit really tall, really, really tall. And breathe. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, swan dive a little, right? That blanket's going to help press those hips back, anterior tilt to the pelvis so that the low back stays neutral, and just let your hands come to the floor. Now, some of my yogis out there, you all are amazing. You're all amazing. But some of you can amazingly get down low, 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 no problem. I'm not one of those, right? So my legs just don't allow for that kind of open rotation. So I'm going to honor that. If I go too deep, it doesn't feel good and I round. So I'm just going to experiment. How is this feeling for me? If you're on the blanket and you don't love it, take the blanket out, but then notice if you can still keep that anterior tilt of your pelvis. And just breathe. Flex the feet, watch the knees. Use your breath. Come on up. Ground the legs. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, right hand down, left arm over. Woo. Remember the head thing, right? Don't drop the head. I know it can get heavy. Good. Take it up. Exhale, other way. And take it up. Hands behind both knees. Slide the knees in. Soles of the feet together. Wide or long Badakanasana. What's that mean? My heels are not sitting up way up at my groin. They're out wide, like a little diamond pattern. Press the hips back. If you're still on your blanket, that's awesome. Hands come to shins. Draw the chest forward. Breathe. Only if you want and it feels okay, start to take the torso forward, but resist the urge to pull the head forward. Keep this all kind of in a line, right? Chin, chest in alignment. Maybe you take it forward. Maybe not. Everybody breathe. That's it. We're almost there. And come on up. Bring those knees together. Straighten your left leg. If you're still on blanket and want to come on off. Come back to Janu Sirsasana. So this time, no blanket under the knees unless you found that super helpful. If you tend to hyperextend or get a lot of pain in your knee, then that blanket or towel underneath really is helpful. Again, for that opposite one, if it doesn't sit comfortably, you either have a block here or you're taking that leg out to a point where the knee isn't feeling like it's struggling, or the hip. Inhale, oh, and maybe your strap, which mine's too far away. Maybe your strap. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, swan dive. Pause. How's it feeling now compared to how it felt before? Fingertips to the floor. Pull the shoulder blades back. Draw the leg back into its hip socket, right? Big energy here. Feel your thigh. Feel your quadricep engage. And then think about, where in my body can I move? Maybe this is it. Maybe there's no more movement. Maybe as your chest moves forward, you can come down a little bit lower. Trust yourself here, everybody. I know for some it just feels so good to round down and hang out. That in and of itself is not a bad thing if you're warmed up and you know it's not going to irritate your back. It's okay at this point. We're all warmed up. We've been doing tons of stuff. So just breathe here for a moment. And notice where you feel the stretch this time compared to where you felt it before. Big deep breath. Good. Hands to the floor. Press up. Neutral, neutral spine. Good. Listen up. You're going to take that same right leg, bring it out to the side, but listen up. This time, your left hand or left elbow is coming to the floor, and you're doing a big old stretch. That's it. And come on up. Bring the leg back to center. Switch sides. Bringing your right leg into your version of Janu, Sirsasana, knee blanket underneath, block underneath, strap around your foot. At the end of the day, this is your practice. I am just your guide, so trust yourself. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, forward a little bit, pause, let the fingertips come down, check out this side. As I said, for me, this is my tight side. So I can't just kind of drop in. It's almost like asking permission of the body to let you in a little bit further. And depending on the day and depending on your activity and what you've been doing, today might be that day to go a little bit deeper, and it might just as easily be the day to be a little bit more conservative in your stretch. So we just pause, we feel it out. You can wiggle it down. How's it feel in your body? Big deep breath. Quadricep is active. When we talk about reciprocal muscles, if the front of the leg is active, if it is contracted, the back of the leg gets permission to open, right? Opposing muscles. Big deep breath. Maybe you go deeper, maybe not. That's it. And come on up. Ooh, same leg. Take it out to your width. Take the right hand down or the right elbow down and reach out. Reach out. Big deep breath, everybody. Good. Take it up. And release. Slide that leg forward, straighten both legs. Shake it, shake it. All right, so bend your left leg, step it over your right, lift up tall. Two options here. One, your right leg is straight, right? We're gonna move into a twist. Second option, your right leg is bent, but your left foot on the floor. Lift up tall, everybody. Take your right arm around your knee. Lift up again as you rotate, as you twist. Remember that back leg or that bottom leg is either straight or bent, depending on your knees, your legs, what feels right to you. That's it. Breathe. Only if you want, your left hand wraps around your body. Just feel all the stress melt off your body. You have physically moved, you've released endorphins, you've trusted your body and your intuition. Release your twist, everyone. If your bottom leg is bent, straighten it. Undo your left leg, bend your right, step over, lift up. Then decide on that bottom leg if you want it straight or bent. Either one is awesome. They're just variations of a seated twist. Your left arm wraps around, lift up through your spine first, and then find your twist. Only if you want, back hand reaches behind. Big deep breath. And release it. Release your top, release your bottom, straighten both legs. Give me one more good Dandasana, fired up legs, shoulders back, hands to the floor. Breathe. And release. Well done. All right, so we are coming to the floor. You won't need your blanket, but grab your strap and you'll need a block. And I'm putting my socks back on because it's chilly in this house. Who knew it would get so chilly up here? All right, excuse me. So you got your strap, got a block next to you. Come on down, everybody. You can have the small pillow under your head if you want, just don't overdo it. Good, take your left leg up, externally rotate it, bring that ankle to your knee, bring your knees toward your chest, and breathe. Keep a tiny space behind your low back. And what I tend to do is I keep my left foot moving toward me, but my left knee moving away from me. Breathe. Excuse me. Now your right leg, I want you to take your right inner ankle and move it toward your left knee. So all you're doing is externally rotating the leg, but moving the ankle in toward the left. If that's just not happening on your best day, maybe you have a strap around your ankle and you're just holding it there. That's going to deepen your stretch. Most of us don't need the strap, and sometimes if you use a strap, you're just going to overdo it. But here we're just going a little bit deeper into this hip that we've been working with. Breathe. Good. One, stay here. Two, release that right ankle back to neutral. Or three, cross the knees. So now your right ankle is heading toward the left, your left ankle is heading toward the right, cow face legs. You can hold the ankles. If your knees and ankles are more lined up, it's a little deeper stretch for most people. If your heels are down here toward your hips, toward your glutes, it's a little less of a stretch. So you decide. You can hold ankles, you can hold feet. Big deep breath. Release. Undo your legs, feet to the floor. Take your right leg up. Externally rotate. Let that ankle come to your knee. Bring the knees up once again. Make sure just a teeniest space behind your lower back. Pause here for a second and feel your stretch. That might be plenty enough for you. When and if you're ready, that left inner ankle heads toward the right knee. Whew. But you're not swaying the hips. And I didn't say that on the other side. So if your hips are swaying with it, you're losing the stretch. Just see if you can get your ankle to head any amount in that direction toward the right. Pause. Let your sacrum be heavy, everybody. And then one, stay here or release to a more traditional figure four, or slide that right knee across and come to cow face legs on this side. Ooh, yeah. Again, you usually can tell which side's just a bit tighter. Try to keep the sacrum heavy. So what that means is we're resisting the urge to round our backs. We're keeping a more neutral spine here. Good, release. Feet to the floor, grab your block. Take it at its widest level between your knees. I think you can see that. Just between the knees, make sure it doesn't hurt. And then squeeze your block to the inside. Just squeeze. That's it. Keep squeezing, not super hard. 40, 30, 40, 50% at the most. And release your squeeze, set your block aside, bring your knees to your chest, allow the knees to roll to the left just for a short twist. We're not going to stay here long. Feel your stretch. Good. Knees come to center. Go to the other side. Stretch it out, everyone. And the knees center. Right knee stays in, left leg stretches. Big, big, big stretch. Really stretch this whole front leg. And switch. And then straighten both legs and let it finally find Shavasana. Good. I always like the legs wide in Shavasana. That gives the hips permission to let go. If you have a blanket nearby that you can reach, I would just take that nice blanket and lay it on the hips just to give it a little bit of weight, a little bit of loving after all that work. And just feel your breath starting to move in and out again. And as you move into Shavasana, don't feel a need to answer this question. Just let the question move into your body. And the question is, what would it mean to fully trust yourself, to move from a space of trust in yourself? Just let that percolate. Don't even stay on the question for long. Just let it percolate into your skin and into your cells and into the places in our bodies that we have forgotten to trust. Feel your jaw soften. Feel the shoulders soften. As your mind wanders, just let it go. Soften your body, soften your breath. So if you are in Shavasana and you want to stay, please stay. Just let my voice be background noise. If you are ready to move out of Shavasana, start to wiggle your toes and your fingers. Bring your knees to your chest. Roll over to one side, curl into fetal pose. Let all of your work today sink into muscle memory. And then ever so slowly press yourself up. Bring your hands to your heart. Bow to your own inner wisdom and that ability to trust yourself. Namaste.